Let me ask you something. Have you ever listed something for sale online and then suddenly gotten this gut feeling that something wasn't right? That's exactly what happened to me, and what started as a simple Facebook Marketplace transaction turned into one of the creepiest, most threatening situations I've ever been in to this day. I still look over my shoulder every time I walk to my car. Hey, and welcome back to the channel. If you're into real, personal horror stories, especially ones that make you rethink who you're talking to online, then you're in the right place. Today's story is all about how a wait set listing turned into a brush with something way more dangerous than a flaky buyer. Let's get into it. When I finally moved out of my parents' house and into my own apartment, I had way too much junk to take with me. Old toys, book sets, extra furniture stuff I hadn't looked at in years. My dad was already on my case about clearing it out of the garage, so I started listing it all online. I always avoided Craigslist because, well, you know, the horror stories. So I turned to Facebook Marketplace, thinking it would be a little safer. Familiar faces, right? One of the bigger items I had to get rid of was a full weight set barbell, plates, a stand, the works. I listed it for $340. Honestly, I thought that was fair. But it sat there for days with barely any bites. A few people messaged, asked if it was still available, and then ghosted me until a guy named Joe reached out. His profile picture showed him wearing a fishing hat and holding up a bass. The image quality was terrible, and his profile was totally locked down. Still, I noticed. We had 3 mutuals girls I went to high school with, and his last name matched a guy I vaguely remembered from my hometown. I figured it must be him. I remembered he liked fishing too, so it kind of all added up. He didn't even try to haggle the price down, which was rare. When I told him it was still available, he immediately asked, "When can I pick it up?" I told him anytime after 7 p.m. He responded, "I'll swing by tonight around 11 after work." A bit late, but okay. I appreciated the interest. I decided to make small talk and asked, "Hey, you used to date Gina, right?" Typing bubble popped up, then disappeared. Long pause, then just, yes. Something about that felt off. Not suspicious, but weird. Later, he asked for my address. I sent it, then silence. Hours of it. By 7:30 that evening, still no response. Then a text asking for my number. I gave it to him, and almost instantly got a message from a local area code. The text was green on my iPhone. He was using Android, which felt odd for someone I thought I knew, but I brushed it off. He said he'd come in a few hours. I waited. 11:30 p.m. I get a text. "I'm here. Come out." I peeked through the front window. There's a dark car parked out front. I tried to call him to explain I'd need help carrying the weights. He rejected the call, then texted again. "Yo, come out." I replied, "You can come in, just need help moving the weights." His next message, N. "Gotta see if you're straight first." What? That didn't sound like anything the Joe I knew would say. His grammar tone completely different. I called again, rejected. Something didn't sit right. I messaged Gina. No response. Then I messaged the mutuals. One girl, Angela, finally got back to me. "Oh my God, that's a catfish. Someone's pretending to be him." She said the name must have been different when the account added her, then changed it later. I looked outside again. The car was still there, and worse. I swear I saw a person crouching behind one of the bushes. in front of my apartment. That's when the car, the guy in the bushes ran to the car. Then it sped off. I stood there in the dark, heart pounding. That wasn't a missed sale. That was a trap. The fake Facebook profile disappeared the next day, probably deleted by whoever ran it. I managed to get in touch with the real Joe eventually. He had no idea what was going on. Said someone must have stolen his photos and used his name. But the worst part, 2 days later, I got a text from a different number. "Hey yo, watch your back. We know where you live. Keep trying to talk to my girl. See what happens, man. Will you up right outside your crib? Sleep with one eye open _ we watching." I brought everything to the police, but they shrugged it off. Low priority. I never messaged or flirted with anyone's girlfriend. At the time, I was in a committed relationship. I still don't know who was behind it or what they planned to do. All I know is I narrowly avoided something very, very bad. I've never listed anything online for local pickup again, and to this day, I still check the bushes before walking out my door. It had to be around 2018. I was trying to sell this old pinball machine we'd had since childhood. It wasn't one of those massive, flashy arcade machines that go for thousands, but it was still in good shape and worth a few $100. It had been collecting dust in my parents' attic for years, and I figured it was time to cash in before one of my sisters got the same idea. Selfish maybe, but I didn't want to split the money. So I waited until my family was out of town on a vacation I couldn't go on because of work. Perfect timing, right? My parents live in a nice area, not a gated community, but quiet, upper middle class suburbia. I listed the pinball machine on Facebook Marketplace for $200. The next day, I got a message from a profile with no picture, just the name Jasmine. She offered $175. I accepted. We set up a time for her to swing by that evening, but when the time came, she ghosted. Then, around 10:30 p.m., she messaged me, "I'll be there soon." I was exhausted and had to work the next morning, so I asked if we could do it another day. She insisted she was already on her way. Against my better judgment, I agreed to wait. At 11:45, she finally messaged again. "I'm here." I looked out the front window and saw a car idling by the curb. What I didn't expect was all 4 doors opening at once. 3 men and a woman. Stepping out, I immediately got uneasy. I messaged her, "Are you here with people?" No reply. I kept the storm door locked and stepped out onto the porch. The group approached. They looked rough, big guys, the kind that made your gut instinct scream at you. I asked through the door, "Are you Jasmine?" The girl responded, "Yeah." I told her, "I can't let everyone inside. My parents are asleep." Total lie, but I needed an excuse. She scoffed and tried to open the door. When she realized it was locked, she started pounding on the glass. One of the guys started cursing. Another yelled something I couldn't make out. I shut the main door and locked it. They stayed outside, shouting and ringing the bell. It dragged on for 10 long minutes. From the upstairs window, I saw one of them urinating in the driveway. The girl yelled something up at my couldn't make out what. Eventually, they got back in the car and left. I felt a wave of relief, but that night, I couldn't sleep. My mind kept replaying the whole thing. Around 2 a.m., I heard the unmistakable sound of glass shattering downstairs. My stomach dropped. I froze, heart pounding. then carefully tiptoed to my locked bedroom door. I had already locked it, thank God. I grabbed my phone and hovered over 911, foolishly waiting to confirm what I already feared. Then I heard footsteps, heavy, charging up the stairs. I hit dial. I whispered to the dispatcher, hiding under my bed. The intruders were loud, making no attempt to be stealthy. I could hear drawers being yanked open, furniture being knocked around. It felt like they were inside for an eternity, but later I learned they were in and out in under 5 minutes. The police didn't arrive in time. They had smashed a window in the backyard. They ransacked nearly every room, but strangely, the pinball machine was left untouched. Maybe it was too heavy, or maybe they never wanted it in the first place. Later, I gave the police a full report and even exaggerated a bit. I told them I had been verbally threatened, thinking that might light a fire under the case. It worked. Detectives got involved, tracked the Facebook account back to a girl named Jasmine who lived a few towns over. They got a warrant, searched her place, and found a bunch of stuff from my parents' house. She turned on her accomplices. Almost immediately, all 3 guys were charged with burglary. Most of the stolen items were recovered, though I'm sure some small things were lost forever. My family, furious at first, but once they saw how everything played out, they understood. And as for me, I never sold anything from that house online again. I was scrolling through Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace looking for a new phone. This was a while ago, think iPhone 7 days, when home buttons were still a thing. I came across a listing that seemed almost too good to be true. A brand new iPhone, sealed box, for just $300. The post was generic, but the guy selling it, someone named Melvin, was really responsive and polite over text. He told me it was factory unlocked, never opened, and even sent me a video showing the box still sealed. At first glance, everything checked out. We agreed to meet, but the catch came quickly. Melvin said he had just left the city and was now about an hour north. The listing said he was local, so I was annoyed, but honestly, the deal was too good to pass up. I messaged a few friends to see if anyone wanted to take a spontaneous adventure drive with me, and my friend Martina agreed as long as I promised her food in return. Melvin gave us the address of a police precinct and said he only did deals in police station parking lots to avoid scams. Weirdly smart, and it gave me some confidence in him. I picked up Martina around 8:30 p.m. and we hit the road. It was a Friday night. We had music going, and the drive actually felt fun at first. Once we got off the highway, the area started getting quiet roads, thick woods on both sides, barely any houses, just patches of darkness between the occasional building. We finally reached the police station and under Melvin. Just empty cop cars and no black Altima, which he said he'd be in. We circled the lot a few times and then I decided to call him. He picked up and said he'd broken down on a nearby road, asked if I could come help jump his car, and texted me his location. When I checked the map, I realized he was parked in the middle of a dark road with woods on both sides. Martina immediately said, "No way. This is a setup." But I didn't want to waste the whole night. I told her we'd just drive past the spot and check things out from the road. As we approached, we saw headlights reflecting off the trees, a black car, just sitting there in the dark. We slowed down and saw no one inside or nearby. No movement, no figure. It was like a trap in a horror movie. Martina said, "Just drive," and I didn't argue. I floored it right past. Almost instantly, Melvin started calling again and again. I ignored every one. Then came the text. I saw you just pass me. Why didn't you stop? Turn around. Hell no. We found a nearby diner to regroup. It was quiet, almost empty. We ordered coffee and tried to laugh it off until this guy walked in, hood up, navy blue hoodie, dirt-stained. He sat at the bar and kept glancing over at us. Then he spoke to the waitress, and I heard his voice. It was Melvin. Martina froze. I whispered to the waitress to bring the check and said we needed to leave. She looked concerned, but grabbed the bill. As we quickly paid and stood to leave, I saw him get up to... We rushed out, jumped in my car, and as I pulled out of the lot, I saw him hustling out of the diner behind us. A black car sat in the corner of the lot. The same car. Probably we sped away. Got back on the highway, thinking we were safe until... My dashboard flashed. Low tire pressure. I pulled over and checked. One of my tires had been slashed. We were lucky though. He didn't catch up. I swapped in the spare, and we drove back home. Tired, shaken, still stunned by how close we came to something we don't even want to imagine. And, yes, Martina still got her dinner. To this day, we laugh about it, but deep down, we know how close we were to walking into a trap. All over a $300 phone. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story or it gave you chills, hit that like button. Leave a comment with your thoughts or similar experiences, and don't forget to subscribe for more real-life horror stories. Stay safe out there.